Fall decorating, but make it timeless. Have you ever scrolled through pictures of Joanna Gaines's farmhouse and just wished you could capture that same cozy, effortless feeling in your own home? That feeling of a warm, inviting space that just breathes fall, without being overly cliché. That's exactly what we're tackling today. We're diving deep into the secrets of creating that authentic, vintage farmhouse fall aesthetic, inspired by the queen of cozy herself. Forget the flimsy pumpkins and generic store-bought decor. We're going to use real, tactile pieces, layers, and natural elements to create a look that feels both fresh and nostalgic. I'll show you how to find and style unique, vintage decor that seamlessly transitions from autumn right into the Christmas season, saving you time and effort. This isn't just about decorating, it's about creating a feeling, a mood, a home that you'll absolutely love spending time in this season. I promise you'll walk away with a whole new perspective on fall decor. So if you're ready to create the coziest, most beautiful fall home you've ever had, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and let me know in the comments what your favorite fall tradition is. Starting with a clean slate. Before we bring in any fall-specific decor, the most important step is to create a neutral foundation. Think of your home as a blank canvas. We're starting by decluttering any bright, out-of-season items. Swap out vibrant summer throw pillows and blankets for more muted, earthy tones, think creamy whites, deep beiges, and soft grays. This approach is key to achieving that signature Joanna Gaines Magnolia style. It allows the textures and seasonal pieces we add later to truly shine. A clean, simple background ensures that your carefully chosen vintage finds and natural elements won't feel overwhelming. This is where the magic begins, with a minimalist mindset that embraces warmth and simplicity. Focus on natural fibers like linen and cotton to build a base that feels effortlessly chic and inviting. Layering with intention. Now that we have our neutral canvas, it's time to layer in some warmth. Texture is the secret ingredient to making a space feel cozy and lived in. I'm bringing out my chunky knit blankets in oatmeal and cream, and my collection of vintage wool throws. Drape them over the backs of sofas and chairs, and pile them in woven baskets by the fireplace. For pillows, I'm mixing patterns and textures. Think a soft, chunky knit pillow next to a smooth linen one, and maybe a subtle plaid pattern. This isn't about being perfectly matched, it's about creating a rich, layered look that invites you to curl up and get comfortable. It's the difference between a decorated room and a lived-in, loved home. Hunting for timeless treasures. The heart of this cozy Magnolia farmhouse aesthetic lies in its vintage pieces. This is where your home gets its unique personality. Instead of buying new, I encourage you to go on a treasure hunt at your local antique shops, flea markets, and even your own attic. Look for items with a story, an old wooden dough bowl, a rustic metal milk can, or a stack of worn-out leather-bound books. These aren't just decorations, they're conversation starters. They add a layer of history and character that new items simply can't replicate. Place them strategically as focal points, that dough bowl on the coffee table, a stack of books on a side table. Each piece tells a story, making your home feel curated and special. nature's perfect decor. One of the most effective and affordable ways to decorate for fall is to use elements from nature. Head outside and gather some branches with beautiful autumn leaves, pinecones, acorns, and dried wheat stalks. These natural elements instantly bring the season's color palette and texture indoors. I'm using a simple glass vase to display some foraged branches, and scattering pinecones and acorns in that vintage dough bowl we just talked about. Dried hydrangeas from the summer garden are also a fantastic addition. This approach not only connects your home to the changing season but also adds a simple, rustic charm that feels authentic and fresh. It's an easy way to make a big impact with very little effort. Setting the mood with light. As the days get shorter, lighting becomes crucial for creating that cozy atmosphere. I'm moving away from harsh overhead lights and embracing the warm glow of lamps, candles, and string lights. Strategically place a few lamps with warm bulbs in corners to eliminate shadows and create pockets of light. Candlelight is a must. I'm using unscented pillar candles in different sizes on the mantel and side tables. Don't underestimate the power of a simple strand of fairy lights draped over a bookshelf or tucked into a glass cloche. The soft, flickering light instantly transforms a space, making it feel more intimate and inviting. It's all about creating an atmosphere where you can relax and unwind. A gathering place for loved ones. The dining table is often the center of the home during fall gatherings. We'll style a beautiful, yet simple, tablescape. Start with a neutral linen runner. Instead of a large, complex centerpiece, I'm using a collection of small, simple elements. A few small pumpkins or gourds in varying sizes, interspersed with some tiny pinecones and sprigs of dried eucalyptus. Use vintage-inspired stoneware or simple white plates. The key here is not to overdo it. The goal is to create a setting that feels both elegant and approachable, a place where people feel comfortable lingering long after the meal is over. It's about celebrating the bounty of the season in a simple, beautiful way. Beyond orange and black. When we think of fall, vibrant oranges often come to mind. But for this look, we're embracing a more muted, earthy color palette. Think warm rusts, deep moss greens, soft mustards, and rich browns. These colors feel more sophisticated and are easier to blend into your existing decor. I'm using these colors in subtle ways, a mustard-colored throw, a rust-tone vase, or a dark green branch in a corner. This approach keeps the space feeling elevated and less like a seasonal theme park. It's a way of nodding to the season without being too literal, ensuring your decor has staying power and feels timeless. A warm welcome home. The entryway is the first thing you and your guests see, so it's a great place to set the tone. We're going for a simple, yet impactful, welcome. On a console table, I'm arranging a few small pumpkins and gourds alongside a vintage-style lantern. A small vase with some dried wheat stalks adds a touch of rustic charm. Instead of a typical wreath, I've hung a simple dried floral swag on the door. The goal is a clean, inviting look that hints at the coziness inside. A simple woven basket to hold blankets or umbrellas also adds a functional, yet stylish, touch. It's all about a warm hello that feels authentically you. Carving out personal havens. Fall is the perfect time to create little cozy retreats throughout your home. Identify a quiet corner in your living room or bedroom. Add a comfortable armchair, a soft blanket, a floor lamp, and a small side table with a good book and a warm mug. This isn't about grand gestures, it's about intentionality. It's about giving yourself a dedicated space to slow down and enjoy the season. This corner becomes your personal sanctuary, a place to read, reflect, or simply sip on some warm cider. It's an easy way to make your home feel more intimate and functional for the colder months. Cooking up cozy vibes. The kitchen is the heart of the home, and it's no exception in fall. We're keeping it simple and functional. I'm displaying a small grouping of heirloom pumpkins on a counter, and using a few old cutting boards as rustic decor. A vintage crock or a rustic wire basket can hold a handful of apples or seasonal root vegetables. Swap out your everyday dish towels for some with a subtle plaid or natural linen texture. This approach adds a touch of warmth and charm without cluttering your workspace. It's about bringing that cozy farmhouse feel to the most used room in the house. The mantle moment. The fireplace mantle is a natural focal point in any living room. We're going to style it with a mix of vintage and natural elements. Instead of a single, large piece, I'm creating a layered look. I'm starting with a few different sized pillar candles in vintage brass holders. I'll then add some foraged pine cones and dried leaves along the mantelpiece. A simple, large vintage mirror or a piece of rustic art can serve as the backdrop. The key is to vary the height and texture of your pieces to create visual interest. This arrangement feels both balanced and effortless, just like a Joanna Gaines design. Small spaces, big impact. Don't forget about the smaller spaces, like your bathroom. These areas can also be part of the seasonal transformation. I'm swapping out my regular hand soap for one with a warm, seasonal scent like cinnamon or vanilla. A simple white pitcher filled with a few dried wheat stalks on the counter adds a touch of rustic charm. Use a small, wooden tray to corral a few small items, like a candle and a hand towel. These small, thoughtful details make every corner of your home feel intentionally styled and part of the overall cozy autumn theme. It's these little things that make a house feel like a home. Waking up to autumn. The bedroom is your personal sanctuary, and it deserves some fall love too. We're focusing on textiles to make it feel extra cozy. I'm layering a plush, textured blanket at the foot of the bed and adding a few extra pillows with soft, neutral covers. Swap out a lightweight summer duvet for a heavier, cozier one. A small bundle of dried lavender or eucalyptus on the nightstand adds a subtle, natural fragrance. The goal is to create a space that feels like a comfortable, luxurious retreat from the colder weather, a place where you can truly rest and recharge. Finding beauty in the flaws. The Joanna Gaines style, and vintage decor in general, embraces the concept of Wabi-Sabi, finding beauty in imperfection. This means not everything has to be new, perfect, or matching. A slightly chipped vase, a faded wooden crate, or a crooked branch from your yard adds character and warmth. Don't be afraid to use items that show their age. These imperfections tell a story and make your home feel more authentic and lived in. It's about celebrating the natural wear and tear of time, which ultimately makes your home feel more real and approachable. The fragrance of the season. Decorating isn't just about what you see, it's also about what you smell. We're going to create a sensory experience. I'm simmering a pot of water on the stove with orange peels, cinnamon sticks, and cloves. This fills the entire house with a natural, comforting aroma. I'm also using candles with subtle scents like spiced apple or pumpkin spice. However, be careful not to overwhelm the senses. A light, pleasant scent enhances the cozy atmosphere without being overpowering. This is a simple, yet powerful, way to make your home feel like a true fall haven. Planning for the holiday shift. Now for the secret to a seamless transition into Christmas. The key is to choose your fall decor wisely. By focusing on natural elements like dried leaves, branches, and pinecones, and a neutral palette of warm greens, browns, and muted golds, you're setting yourself up for success. Many of these pieces can stay. For Christmas, you'll simply add in a few festive touches, some red berries, a few sparkly ornaments, and some greenery. The hard work is already done. Your foundational pieces are already in place, making the holiday transition effortless and stress-free. It's a smart, sustainable way to decorate. Curating holiday heirlooms. When it's time to add in those Christmas elements, think vintage. Instead of buying a new set of store-bought ornaments, look for old, hand-painted glass ornaments or simple wooden ones. These pieces have a timeless, nostalgic quality that fits perfectly with the vintage farmhouse aesthetic. Mix them in with your existing greenery and natural decor. This approach creates a holiday look that feels classic and personal, rather than mass-produced. Each ornament can tell a story, just like your vintage fall decor. The power of evergreen. As we get closer to Christmas, a few simple additions of evergreen branches and wreaths can completely transform the space. I'll be adding some evergreen branches to the same vases I used for the fall leaves. A simple, unadorned evergreen wreath on the door adds an elegant, festive touch. The deep green color of the evergreens complements the earthy tones of the fall decor beautifully, creating a seamless visual flow. This is the simplest way to signal the change of season without having to redecorate from scratch. Turning up the festive warmth. The transition to Christmas means it's time to add a bit more sparkle to our lighting. I'll be adding a few more strands of fairy lights and maybe a string of simple white lights on the mantle. The warm, ambient lighting we already have in place is the perfect foundation. Now we're just building on it, adding that extra layer of magic and cheer. The goal is a gentle, warm sparkle that feels joyful, not overwhelming. It's about creating a festive glow that makes you want to curl up with a hot cocoa and enjoy the season. A dash of holiday magic. Now that we've laid the groundwork, it's time for the final touches. I'll be adding a few red plaid throws to the mix, and maybe a subtle holiday pillow. A few vintage-style bells tied with a ribbon can be hung on a doorknob or a cupboard handle. These small, thoughtful additions of color and texture instantly signal the holidays without disrupting the overall cozy, vintage aesthetic. It's about being intentional with every piece, ensuring it adds to the story of your home, not just the holiday theme. A curated, not cluttered, space. Take a step back and look at what we've created. A beautiful, layered home that feels both ready for fall and poised for a seamless transition into Christmas. It's a space that feels curated over time, not decorated in a single day. The vintage pieces, the natural elements, and the thoughtful textures all work together to create an atmosphere of warmth and authenticity. This is the essence of the Joanna Gaines Magnolia style, a home that tells a story, embraces imperfections, and truly feels like a sanctuary. It's a home designed for living, not just for looking at. Ready to make your home a masterpiece? So there you have it, the complete guide to decorating your home for fall with a cozy, vintage farmhouse aesthetic that flows effortlessly into Christmas. I hope this video has given you a fresh perspective and the confidence to start your own creative journey. Remember, it's not about buying the perfect new things, but about finding the beauty in the old and in the simple things around you. It's about creating a space that makes you feel happy and at peace. If you enjoyed this journey with me and feel inspired, please consider subscribing to the channel for more vintage and rustic decor ideas. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and leave a comment below telling me which decorating tip you're most excited to try. From my home to yours, happy decorating.